Hello survivors and welcome to another video. In this video we're going to be looking at Governor, who is a promo character of course, but we have had a promo character yesterday and we had a promo character today. I guess it wasn't selling too well yesterday because this character they brought out is, well, it's that next gen, you know, it's that next gen stupidity. So we're going to go through it. It is a Governor, it's called Made to Suffer. He has got 1,496 attack, 1,897 defense, and 1,951 HP. So he has got tank stats, but he is defined as a support character. And the reason he's got tank stats is because of how the rest of his kit works. I have seen this on a couple of characters where they will change how the stats are meant to be for certain characters, particularly within promo. Actually, they do it in free-to-play as well, but it makes the character worse in free-to-play. It makes the character obviously a lot better in promo. Like, for instance, Zachary is a damage dealer, but he has no damage, and even though his role isn't damage, he is 100% a damage dealer. So it's just obviously to make him really tanky, so that's because it makes him stronger. Whereas you look at someone like Nick, who is in League Store, he's exactly the same as Zachary in terms of he just does main damage, and his damage is up to like 2,100. Like, why? So that makes him worse, and we all know how it works. But the same can be said for Governor. Very tanky stats, role is support, trait is fast. Now here's the first line of stupidity. We'll get to the rush, and it is called Distracting Slashes, recharge rate 76 AP. Now I'll just go ahead and say it doesn't even matter what the recharge rate is. This recharge rate of this rush could have been 7,000 AP. It wouldn't make any difference because one enemy and all adjacent enemies get 30% slow for one turn. This character gains 100% AP. So whenever he rushes, he gets his AP filled 100%. He can rush every single turn. Now, he doesn't do any damage with his rush, so that's why his attack stat is so low. Why would you need a high attack stat if you're never going to do any damage with your rush? He's likely never to do any basic attacks either, because if he's rushing every turn with that AP, when's he going to basic attack? In between those rushes? There's no turns in between those rushes. He has to get AP downed or impaired to do any basic attacks, and then it doesn't even matter. You don't really care about how much damage he does at that point, to be honest. So, yeah, it's pretty dumb. So after the first 2 turns, he then rushes and then will rush constantly after that. However, there is something else in his kit that makes it even worse, and we'll get to that in a bit. But we'll get to the active skill, and I think the active skill is identical to Guardian 2 Ezekiel's, and it is initial cooldown 2, cooldown 2, and it's up to 3 teammates recover from impair. I think maybe Guardian 2 Ezekiel's is cooldown 3, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it's 3 teammates. I think they're the same there. So it's not, the active skill is like just the most basic part of him, and I'd say that makes him worse. You do not want to increase this because you want him to just be rushing constantly, if I'm honest. You don't really want him to be doing his recovery impair just for the sake of it. I mean, it depends. You can maybe gamble, you can maybe think that it's worth doing it that way, I don't know. He has got a really strong specialist skill as well for a defensive character, is Indomitable, so obviously he's really tanked out. He's going to be even more tanky with the specialist skill, really hard to kill. Indomitable makes it so that every time you get attacked, you get 30% extra defense. So if you get attacked 5 times, you get 30% extra each attack, and they all stack as well, so it gets really high. If you've got other buff sources, you can get up to 200+% bonus defense, which is like kind of ridiculous. Now, already his overall kit is pretty dumb in terms of what he's adding to the game. The reason slow is stupid is because in the wider game, no, actually not in the game at all, there's no way to resist slow. There's no way to actually target cleanse it via active skills. There's no like recover slows. And the first recover slows are definitely going to come out in promo, you know that. Because why would the rest of the game need to recover slow? You know, obviously. But slow is only recoverable by someone who does cleanses everything. There's nothing that targets the cleanse, that you can't resist it, obviously. There's no mods to resist it. So it is a promo debilitating status. You know, and it's a very powerful one. It makes the rushes take longer to get. If you had a rush that was 66 and it was 30% extra, it cost 22 more AP to get that rush. Now, on a 76 AP character, that nearly makes it 100. And that makes it so you've got 6 turns to get your rush behind an Eric lead, which is, you've lost the raid at that point on a defense team. You just lost the raid. And seeing how this character, looking at his weapon, can get this off first turn. He hasn't got an 8% weapon, he's got a 100% weapon to self. He gets his rush instantly on an attack team. You can just rush, make everyone's enemy team have slower rush, and then he can rush the next turn and just keep it going. Just keep it going. Just keep it going. And it's just like, everybody's rushes now are going to be 30% extra because of this guy. Everyone's rushes. This combat's already stupid characters released, but not wider source characters. Like, look at these basic, like the free-to-play defense team is like Eric, Leeds, Douglas, and then like blues and greens, like tanky blues and greens. Those tanky blues and greens have got no AP leader, and they've all got 76 AR. Instantly, it's just like, that's the best free-to-play can really do. Unless you get lucky in random wheels, you can get lucky in war wheels and create, or lucky on a promo wheel and get your promo and make some sort of like diverse team. Most of the teams aren't going to work like that. You can make an 8% defense team, and that's basically what this is, to try and combat that 8% defense teams. This character, which I would say is really a stupid character, is come out to combat other stupid characters that have been released in the past, like the Zacharys and the Dr. Stevens. That's the only reason this character's coming out. There's no other reason. And it's just the sort of point we're at the top in terms of the spending, because not at the top in terms of skill, because who knows where the skill is now. The skill skilling is so low. You could be brand new to the game, just get a couple of promos and max them out, and hit auto, and you'd win quite quickly most of the time as well. It isn't hard with promo characters, so you're not. There's no skill really in the game at the top level, and there's air quotes with that top level thing right now. You know, the most skill part of 6 stars was very early in release because everyone had very similar characters. If you were excelling at the beginning, you were a good player, obviously. If you're excelling now and you've got a free-to-play roster, you're a good player, obviously, because you've got very restricted resources. But if you're someone who buys promos consistently, you know what I mean, who knows? Who knows? You could be a good player. You could also just be relying on stupid power creep that these characters have. And Governor definitely fits in with the other characters that have got released. I'm really not sure about the idea of the process of being releasing these characters. I guess something big's coming, because we saw this before 6 stars were released. We saw the Priya's, Michonnes, you know, these dumb characters that were released in terms of just like pushing those ones out. Game-breaking characters, and this is a game-breaking character. You know, Dr. Stevens and Zachary are bad, but this is another one straight in the mix with those stupid characters. And yeah, I guess you've got to find something else you love in the game and enjoy in the game, because competition and war and all that is literally dead now. It's dead with these sort of characters coming out, because it just doesn't bring competition. It downgrades all of it. And this is a lot of the reason why a lot of people are leaving the game right now, is because a lot of that is meaningless, and this has made it even more meaningless. So good job. Congratulations. But that's the way it is. I mean, I honestly don't care anymore about this. I'm just having fun with my YouTube channel. Road to Survival, the game itself, is really gone downhill, and they obviously just don't care about the wider player base. It's pretty obvious by the actions that are being made, unfortunately. But that's it, guys. That's the end of my video. Do tell me what you think about this character. I mean, what is there to say? What is there to say? But as always, guys, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.